Welcome back to We'll See About That, where we test the most viral YouTube recipes to really see if they're worth the hype. And today we're entering the realm of potatoes to make a sort of potato donut, a podonut, a ponut. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna be interesting. And as always, there is no time to waste. Now let's go! Today's recipe is coming from the channel Einfach Lekker. Hope I'm saying that right. You know, I lived in Holland for a while. It sounds Dutch, but it might be German. It's Dutch or German, I can tell you that much. Welcome to my kitchen. My name is Helga. What up, Helga? The recipe we're cooking today is only my mother-in-law cooks potatoes this way, and I saw this thumbnail and I just thought, what is going on there? Click, because are these potatoes being boiled, fried? I don't know. I actually haven't watched this video yet because I want to do a blind reaction, but I want to see what's going on. Let's check this out. This is a woman that's cut up a lot of potatoes. You can tell with that technique. Go Helga. Not gonna lie, that's kind of a bunk masher. That thing sucks. Maybe the masher works really well. Now I feel bad, and maybe it's an incredible masher. We have essentially mashed potato with egg at this point. That's just the water she cooked the potatoes in. Yeast has entered the party. Now we're talking. This is gonna be interesting. A little bit of sugar. So we seem to be on our way to making some sort of potato dough. And there's the flour. We've got dough, ladies and gentlemen. We've got dough. What I'm loving about this recipe so far is it's super simple, right? Simple ingredients, pretty fast. She lets the dough rise. This is like a potato donut? Potato dough donut? Potato nut. A ponut. A podonut. Hell yeah. Yum, right? Let's see the inside. Helga, do it. Break me open. I mean, ooh, looks fluffy. Okay. Before we make the recipe, I want to look into the comments real quick, because there's always gold in the comments. Some people put powdered sugar on top, cinnamon, butter, and honey on them, a little bit of salt. Some people have been doing green onions on there. So maybe we'll do savory, maybe we'll do sweet, maybe we'll do both. Honestly, I'm really excited about this recipe, but is it worth 21 million views? Is it that good? We'll see about that. And at the end of the video, we're gonna review and rate this recipe. And if it's really good, obviously the fridge is gonna get attacked. It needs to. Judging by the look of her potatoes, I'm quite sure she was actually just using russets. And all you need to do here is peel them up and then cut them into similar sized chunks. Just make sure they're all the same size and thickness when you do this so they'll cook evenly. Drop them into some cold water and onto the stove it goes to boil. After about 22 minutes, my potatoes are fork tender, meaning when I pop them out and I just insert a little piece of metal into them, it goes in really tender, like butter. Just gonna add them to a bowl, drain off a little bit of that water. Watching her video, it looks like her potatoes have actually been cooled down in the water, because I see absolutely no steam in the pot. And it's not clarified in the video, but I would let these cool down closer to room temp before you mix the dough. Just guessing, but there was no steam. No steam, no heat, no lies. At this point, my potatoes have been cooling for about 10, 12 minutes. They're just a little bit warm. I'm just mashing them up now. I like that this recipe is staying real simple. No equipment needed, just a stupid little masher. Next, we're just adding a little bit of kosher salt and one whole egg. Mix again until you have a really nice fine sludge. Next up, 1 cup of potato broth, which is just the liquid that the potatoes cooked in. Simple as that. And this is also just slightly warm. Again, mix and mash. At this point, we're also gonna add the active dry yeast and sugar, so that yeast has something to munch on. We'll switch to a rubber spatula and keep mixing. Now we're gonna start adding our flour. And in her recipe, there's a pretty big discrepancy. I think that's the word I'm looking for. She says add between 400 and 500 grams of flour. That's a pretty big difference. I'm starting right now with 400 grams. I'll put the measurement in cups up on the screen right now. And I'll start by mixing that amount in. And if it needs more, I can always add more. For now, this amount looks pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and tip this out on the board so we can begin kneading with our hands, which is way more fun anyways. And if it starts getting too sticky, like it is, I'm gonna start adding more flour little by little and kneading it in. And then if it gets really sticky again, I'm gonna add a little more. And don't worry, I have that amount weighed out. So if you do wanna recreate this, we can give you the exact amount of flour. There we go. I'm gonna leave it at that for this recipe, which is 450 grams of flour. Again, cups are right up here on the screen. Although I do recommend, if you're into baking, to get a scale that weighs out in grams to be more accurate. The dough is sticky to the touch, but it does not stick to my finger, which I think is about what we want for this. Here we go, back into a fresh bowl. Just a little tiny bit of oil on this thing. And I saw her do a slight knead, but this is really more so that dough does not stick to the bowl as it rises. I'm just creating a little tension by pulling the top down around the bottom like so. Nothing too fancy. There we go. Next, I'm just gonna throw a warm, damp towel over the top, and we're gonna leave this in the kitchen, preferably somewhere slightly a little bit warm, to rise for about 30, 40 minutes. 40 minutes was the right time for my dough in temperature. Oh, and it feels good, it feels good. Out she goes. Come on, release. Oh, stuck a little bit. Oh well, no problem, folks. Now, I'm gonna take this pastry cutter here, slice in half. And then from here, we're gonna cut them each into 6 pieces, like so. From here, she sprays with a little more oil. And all I'm gonna do now is shape into a ball, plop it onto a cutting board here, and just repeat with the rest. Again, does not need to be perfect. And again, cover with a damp towel and let them rise for 5 to 7 minutes. Although I let mine rise for about 20 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes actually didn't do that much, so I just let them go a little bit longer. But that will absolutely depend on how hot your kitchen is. Wow, that was incredible throw. Helga didn't specify an exact temperature on the oil, but I'm thinking 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Celsius is right here. Should put us at the right temperature for a dough like this. And as always, as I do on this channel, I do not like using vegetable oil or any seed oils really, so I'm using peanut oil. Once your oil's up to temp, just go ahead and drop them in. And after about 3 minutes, they're nice and golden brown. We can go ahead and flip them over, which they just want to do on their own. There we go. And continue to cook. Another 3 minutes on the other side. You can go ahead and remove these. Well, here it is. It's pretty nice looking. Feels good. Piping hot. Whew. We're gonna go ahead and try this one on its own. Ooh. Ooh. That's spongy. Ow. However, we are gonna try some ideas from the comments here in a minute to see what's best. It's nice. There's a nice bouncy, light kind of texture to this that I like a lot, but the flavor isn't there. This needs something. It needs something. Eating them like this, I'm done after a bite. We're gonna try 2 different versions. The first, I'm just gonna brush it in a whole bunch of unsalted butter because we know that's not gonna be bad. Ooh. And then we're gonna drizzle it with honey because that's not gonna be bad. Ooh. And finally, for that little sweet and salty kick, we're gonna hit it with some nice flaky sea salt, Malden salt. Well, this one certainly looks much better. Marcus, why don't you come on down? Bink!
Oh, that's mad good.
That's much better.
In the video, the lady just ripped them apart. You gotta do something like this.
For the next version, we're just gonna dust with powdered sugar heavily. And next, a little bit of cinnamon. Same deal, I'm just dusting it on top. And there's that version. Let's give this thing a try.
I like honey butter better.
I also like honey butter better. Not that this is bad. The honey butter and salt is just amazing. On another note, I also bake some of these at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 18-20 minutes. And here are the results. They definitely don't look as good, but they feel nice and fluffy, so that is an option for you as well. For my final verdict, the Padonuts with nothing on them are gonna get an even 6. They're okay, but nothing to write home about. However, the ones with honey, butter, and sea salt are gonna get a 7.5. Those are solid. Definitely, I would make those again. The recipe will be down in the description underneath this video, as well as links to products I love to use on my show, and merch if you wanna support the channel. And until next time, you know I love you and I'm out.